Side New York City. Sam is in a hospice where they treat her cancer. Because she doesn't have much time left. She feels very pessimistic and doesn't have many friends outside her cat Frodo. During group therapy, she reads her poetry. But words just describe how much she hates everything. Care worker Ruben never gives up on her and tells her to come with other patients to watch a pop-up show. Sam agrees. If she gets to have pizza at a specific place afterward. After changing her medicine patch and putting a leash on Frodo, Sam leaves with a group in a bus. As the vehicle crosses the bridge, Sam sees a bunch of jets fly by at the theater. At first Sam enjoys the play, but when it takes a sad turn, she relates too much and decides to leave. She goes to the store to get some candy. She notices a bunch of police cars passing by. At full speed, then Sam goes looking for Ruben, who is on an important phone call. That suddenly ends over lack of signal. He tells Sam that the group is going back because there's something happening in the city. And Sam gets upset because they aren't having pizza. When Ruben says he's just trying to be a good friend, Sam reminds him he's just her nurse. Before getting on the bus, she notices the other patients at the back looking through the window, and some weird noises can be heard in the distance. Sam comes to take a look too and is shocked to see meteors falling from the sky. As an alarm starts wailing through the city, a meteor falls near the bus, and a huge explosion knocks everyone down. With ringing ears, Sam manages to stand up in the broken bus and walks out, finding the area covered in a dust cloud. Wounded people walk past her as she tries to find her way around, and more explosions are heard all around the city. A roar suddenly echoes near Sam, and a man is dragged away by his feet. Panicking, Sam runs away and finds a soldier, telling her to take cover, but he's taken as well. Sam immediately hides behind a car with another person and watches in horror as a horrifying creature appears. The meteor shower was actually an alien invasion. A man distracts the monster and Sam runs again. But at that moment, an ambulance arrives and is attacked by the creature. Another explosion happens, and Sam is knocked out as she hits a wall. Moments later, Sam wakes up inside a building, and Andre quickly covers her mouth when she calls. Asking her to be silent, Sam looks around and discovers she's brought into the theater, where a bunch of survivors are hiding and taking care of wounds. Sam gets to reunite with Ruben and Frodo. A helicopter flies above the area, asking the citizens to stay hidden and silent until they receive further instructions. It turns out the creatures attack by following noise, and they now go after the helicopter, causing the whole building to shake. Frodo gets scared and runs away, so Sam goes after him and finds tons of dead bodies. She steps on some debris and causes a crunchy noise. So she freezes in fear as Ruben catches up to her. They notice an alien walking outside and wait for it to go away, but unfortunately Sam moves accidentally brushes past a bell on a costume, making it ring. Sam rushes to grab her cat and hides behind furniture as the alien bursts through the door and searches for potential victims, kicking around the bodies. It even puts its face very close to Ruben, but doesn't find him, confirming the aliens are blind. At that moment, the helicopter flies by again, so the alien runs out of the building to follow it. There's lots of shaking and another explosion outside. Ruben and Sam don't move until it's over. Sam washes her face and removes the now depleted medicine patch. Next, she checks on a woman, using a radio to pick on calls from authorities. It seems a shelter is in place, and they want people to wait for instructions. They also want everyone to stay away from bridges. Stickers on a globe indicate aliens are attacking all over the world. Suddenly, the survivors hear a bunch of bombs and rush to the roof, where they're horrified to discover the military is destroying the bridges to keep the aliens from escaping. Since they can't swim, the group watches how the bridges go down one by one, and a survivor starts freaking out, saying they're trapped and going to die. Andre rushes to cover his mouth, and the guy tries to fight him off, so they struggle until Andre accidentally hits the man's head against the wall, killing him later. While they wait for rescue, Sam tells Ruben that she's going to Harlem for pizza. By writing it down, Ruben tries to make her stay, but their conversation is interrupted when the power goes out and the generator starts causing lots of noise. A desperate Ruben runs outside and quickly turns the generator off, but when he steps away, his clothes get stuck and ripped, which makes noise again. An alien suddenly jumps out and attacks Ruben, him, while Sam covers her mouth to avoid screaming. As soon as the sun comes out, Sam takes Frodo and finally leaves for Harlem. On the way, she watches all the destruction in the city, not to mention the blood and flames in every corner. After grabbing some supplies from a store, she goes to sit near a fountain, so the water noise can offer cover. She carefully opens a can and feeds noticing to kids hiding under the fountain, so she offers them some snacks as well. At that moment, the helicopters announcing that boat evacuations have begun. At the South Seaport, the noise attracts the creatures, who start climbing buildings to try to attack. Sam drags the kids into a tunnel, and they watch the aliens run through the streets, causing lots of shaking and debris to fall down. When it looks clear, Sam tries to come out, only for an alien to block the way with a piece of building as Sam runs back. The alien stops a moment to check the area, but it doesn't hear anything and leaves. Then the group comes out and discovers all the other survivors coming out of their hiding places to go to the port. Sam tells the kids to follow the crowd, but she starts moving in the opposite direction. The sound of so many steps together attracts the aliens, who soon start jumping down from the building to attack the survivors. People panic as the creatures throw a car and cause yet another explosion, knocking Sam down. Frodo escapes from her arms and runs away in fear. Sam wants to follow him, but the panicking crowd keeps pushing her down as they try to run away, so she can only curl and protect her head from being stomped on. All around her people are falling and dying. So when she sees an opening, Sam crawls to hide under a car. A man follows her and grabs her legs. He begs for help, but he's suddenly dragged away by an alien. Sam's foot gets stuck under the car. However, she manages to pull it out after some struggle and crawls out to keep looking for her cat. Eventually, her body is too tired and in pain to keep going, so she collapses in an alley. Meanwhile, Frodo is chasing after a rat and stops to drink water from a flooded subway station. At that moment, Eric emerges from the water in a state of panic. But seeing Frodo helps him calm down, so he follows the cat until they find Sam. She tells Eric to follow the crowd and leaves with Frodo, but Eric follows her instead. When it starts raining, they introduce themselves, and Sam tells him about the boats. But Eric admits he's terrified of dying alone, and Sam lets him come along. By the night time, they make it to Sam's apartment, and since she's missing her key, Eric kicks the door open at the same time. Thunder strikes as noise cover, while Sam looks for her medication. Eric explains his parents are in England, and he came here to study law, so he's nobody in return. Sam shares her plan to get pizza, and Eric promises to help regardless of her protests. He also finds a picture of Sam's dad, who used to play the piano, and her notebook full of poetry. Reading her writing makes Eric realize Sam is a terminal patient that doesn't have much, so she's staying behind to fulfill her last wish. When thunder strikes again, Sam screams in frustration, and Eric joins her. The next morning, Sam sees a creature appearing at the window, but it's just a dream. She notices Eric is still sleeping, so she and Frodo leave without him. Moments later, she stops at a bookshop that got destroyed by the attack, and this allows Eric to catch up to her. He gives her back the poetry notebook, and Sam agrees to let him come along. As Sam stands up, she accidentally drops some books and makes noise. They immediately hear the aliens approaching, so they run away and try to hide inside a building. The door gets stuck on a briefcase, and Eric pushes extra hard to open it, which causes noise again and makes an alien land right behind them. The duo starts running through the corridors as the creature chases after them, shrieking to call its peers that jump through the glass ceiling. After lots of wandering around Sam, Eric and Frodo manage to get out of the building and return to the streets. Eric breaks a car window to trigger the alarm, and the alien's attention falls on the vehicle, allowing the group to escape into the subway tunnel. Down there, they move carefully to avoid the bodies in the blood, only to discover an alien waiting on the escalator. Thankfully, it doesn't hear them, so the group carefully walks away and ends up in the flooded tracks. As they walk through the water, they see another alien inside a hole in the ceiling, who doesn't react for now. Moments later, they reach an area where the water is too high, causing Eric to have a panic attack over the memories of almost drowning. Seeing the aliens approach, Sam covers Eric's mouth and tries to keep him quiet sadly. An alien finds them anyway, so they start moving as fast as possible while keeping Frodo afloat. The creature is too fast and is about to reach them, meaning they have no choice but to push Frodo into Sam's bag and swim away. The alien tries, following them underwater too. However, it can't swim and quickly drowns. Eventually, the group resurfaces and Frodo runs away. Helps Sam get out of the water. They climb out of a hole in the ceiling and find themselves in a church, where Sam passes out. After dreaming about her dad praying for her, Sam wakes up and immediately throws up. Eric notices she's in great pain, so he asks what kind of medication she needs. Afterward, Eric goes to the pharmacy, and while searching for the medicine, he's startled by a noise, but it turns out to be Frodo. Once he is what he needs, Eric starts making his way back. However, Frodo goes wandering into a construction site, and Eric has no choice but to follow him. He carefully sneaks around and finds the place on fire is just chilling. At that moment, an alien shows up, and Eric quickly Frodo is quite exposed. On the metal beam he's resting on, Eric starts climbing up trying to stay calm, while hearing the alien screech to call its creepy friends, and they feed on the bodies together. When Eric moves to reach Frodo, an alien comes too close to him, so he freezes and waits until the beast leaves without hearing him. Moments later, Eric and Frodo return to the church and give Sam her medicine while she recovers. Sam explains that when she was a child, loved watching her father played piano at a jazz club. After the show, he would always take her to Patsy's to have pizza. In the end, he died of cancer. Like she's dying now. Finally, understanding her last wish, Eric promises he'll get her pizza. The next morning, they leave the church and go directly to Patsy's pizzeria, only to discover it's been burned down. A devastated Sam cries and falls to her knees, so Eric rushes to comfort her and asks about the jazz club. Minutes later, they make it to the club, and Sam gets to recharge her pie, while she gets to see her father's piano again. Eric goes out to find a pizzeria, and when he comes back, he writes Patsy's on a box, before surprising Sam with actual pizza. They get to eat and drink as a break, and even Frodo steals a slice. Eric also finds a deck of cards and pretends he's on a magic show to surprise Sam with a card trick that leaves her quite impressed. Afterward, they go to the balcony and see the boat about to leave the port, while many aliens gather around the shore. Sam gives Eric her jacket. Then they finally leave when they reach the port. They carefully sneak around not to be heard, hide behind a burned car, where they can watch the creatures from afar. Eric almost has another panic attack, but Sam helps him stay calm through it. Then Sam hands him Frodo and tells him to run before she comes out of hiding. As she runs around, Sam starts hitting a bunch of cars to activate the alarms, causing the aliens to go after her. Sam is feeling more weak by the second, so her movements are getting slow. On the boat, Henry sees all this chaos and asks the authorities to wait for another survivor. As soon as he sees an opening, Eric runs away with Frodo, but they hit some trash on the way, and the noise makes the aliens start chasing them. Instead, when the beasts make a quick run and are about to catch him on the pier, Eric jumps and falls into the water, where the aliens can't follow him. After sharing one last goodbye look with Sam, Eric swims toward the boat, and the survivors quickly help him. And Frodo get aboard once he finally gets to rest. Eric discovers Sam left a note in asking him to take care of Frodo and thanking him for everything. Back on land, a crying Sam stares at an old picture of her family. As she listens to Nina Simone's feeling good on her pod, she stands in the middle of the street and disconnects the earphone. So the music makes an alien appear behind her.